Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to Monster Taming and Chill. This week, I am very happy to have Bolo, the lead developer of Anitons, on the show. How are you doing, man?
Hi everyone, it's great to be here in the Ed podcast and talk about the Anitons. And I just can't wait to answer your question.
Great. So we'll get into what exactly Anitons is for those who don't know in a second. But firstly, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about Bolo. Tell us about yourself.
So I'm Bolo and I'm co-founder of Tubigo and the current CEO of it. The CEO is like one role because we having only 5 people right now on a full time.
Hmm.
And I'm more of a game designer and management, project management. And my foundation is in programming. I'm
Okay.
using a Bolo nickname because my name is Szymon Adamczyk, and not everybody can spell that. And also, like it's I get this nickname from when I was 15, so it's great fit.
Oh, there you go. So, for those who have never heard of Anitons, can you explain exactly what Anitons is and what the gameplay experience is like?
It's not so easy to explain it like in a single word because it's something new and it's open world monster collecting RPG, and it's a very long name for a genre, but we want to state that it's an open world so you can explore it freely.
Yeah.
It's monster collecting because that's the main feature, and this is what the game is about. And it's RPG because you decide to role play it, and also you will have a story that you can engage in, but it will be somewhat of a sandbox
Hmm.
uh, that you can explore and build, get your own stories, like for example in Minecraft. But
Yeah.
there will be also a main story to follow that you can beat.
Okay, makes sense. So there's also farming and like building and it sort of
hmm
takes inspiration from you guys are saying from Pokemon and Ark, right?
Yes, we have a building and farming, and that's very important features in our game because we want a player to take care of their Anitons, not only the fighting squad, like you
Hmm.
got the 6 of them and only using them for fight, but you will have to take care of the other Anitons. And if any of your Aniton die, like faint during a fight, you will have to, put him into a hospital or a clinic that you will build for them
Hmm.
and take care of his healing.
It's nice too because I don't know about the people watching, but one of the things about Pokemon is that when you don't really use a Pokemon, it in most games like they've had some gimmicks like the Pokepelago and stuff like that, but in a lot of games, they just sit in a box and do nothing.
hmm
Whereas in
Yeah,
Anitons, they'll have all those boxed Anitons have a special role to play.
yeah. When you are out there, fighting white ones, the your Anitons that in your base they are producing resources, or by farming and taking care of them, you get the DNA to evolve them even further. So
Hmm.
it's not that only by fighting you can get better Anitons, or you can level them up, but by keeping them at your base and taking care of them, they will also evolve and get experience from it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great concept.
hmm
So, can you elaborate on the multiplayer aspects of the game?
yes, of course, but I would like to get back for Arc one,
Yeah,
and the core idea is was born in Hockey Roya's head, and he's a Arc a modder, so he's a fan of Arc. He
yeah,
got like 100 of hours in it, and we get a lot of brainstorming session, and we came up with a Anitons idea because my goal was to incorporate the open world and the farming
yeah,
into our next production, since we knew that it is a fun.
yeah,
And previous we was making game about the lumberjacks and the ships, but we
yes,
didn't have a time to elaborate on the farming aspect of
yeah.
it. And when we add a monster to the farming and open world, it turns out to be a great idea, and a lot of people are telling us that they love the concept.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm back now to the multiplayer aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So the vision, like the original vision we get for Anitons is the option to meet other people, strangers, in
Yeah.
wide regions. So you are getting out of your base. You travel to, let's say, swarms, and uh, you saw other players, engaging in fights. You can help them, something like in an MMO style. But it's we are lacking fundings to create such a big multiplayer.
Mm.
So we want to scale it down for a short time, and if the game releases and it will be successful, we want to add an update with a better servers that you can fit 100 players in a single region.
Oh yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be awesome.
So yeah, and so you can see a multiplayer stretch goal in our Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So it's referring to the option that you can invite your friends.
Yeah.
They will join into your world, and you can travel with them, fight with them, and there will be also rides when you can take them and explore more of a fighting, like from MMORPGs, since you will have only one Aniton there.
Yeah.
And you need to survive till the end.
Oh yeah, like a survival mode. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it will be created in a way that it's too dangerous to go as a person inside. So you call in Aniton, and only the Anitons are entering the ride.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We want to make a lot of interactions between players. So you can help farming for somebody, or help him build his base.
Yeah.
Play games and stuff like that, since we know that the interaction between the players in the multiplayer games are the basics of what's fun.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Anitons is currently in its Kickstarter. It's currently live, and it's already raised about half of its revenue. It's been about a week, so it's pretty good. How optimistic are you that it's going to reach its full funding?
So we are very happy about how Kickstarter is going. Like almost 400 people, pledge their money for us to create a game, and the goal you can see like seven, like the initial goal.
Yeah.
If we get this money, we can create this game. Like we can create it. Players can buy it after release, play it, and we'll keep on expanding it.
Yeah.
Like the reaching stretch goal, for example, multiplayer, will make it 100% in the game on time. And if we don't reach it, we still want to add these features.
Yeah.
But it won't be like a 100% that we'll get them.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's the thing I think people need to realize, is that even if the stretch goals aren't reached, there's a good chance that we'll still end up getting them.
And also, how to say it? We are an indie studio, and we are very limited. We have a very limited marketing budget, and we don't have much experience in advertising. So, like the fact that so many people only in 7 days pledge their money, it's amazing. So it's hard to not be optimistic in the situation like this.
Oh yeah.
And we don't know if we will reach a goal, but we are on a way to do it.
I think we'll reach the goal.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to see this coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so the next question I have was actually asked a few times in the community. So there has been a little bit of controversy surrounding there's a Kickstarter exclusive Aniton. Can you tell us exactly what made you decide to go that route? And also, I think one thing people don't really know about is can you also explain how we as players who do get that Kickstarter exclusive Anitons, how we can actually distribute that to other people as well?
Okay, so we started with an idea that we want to give players that will pledge almost $200 or $150 to our game before it's released. We couldn't create this game without those players. So there will be no exclusive Aniton if there will be no Anitons at all. And also we heard a lot of players being worried about how it will turn out, and our approach is that the community will decide, and we by now made the decision that the players who get the exclusive Aniton will have a pure form of it.
Yeah.
And the picture presents the pure form.
Yeah.
And the breeded one will be a common one.
Yeah.
And you will have an option to trade it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll include other options, that will help to share this with strangers.
Yeah.
But only the people that will get this exclusive Aniton will decide if we will add it.
Okay.
So it's up to people who decided to get this Aniton how it will be distributed or how it will be presented in the game. And we already changed it to get it pure form because we heard that the people want to get their own Anitons, and that's their decision. And thanks to their support, we are in a halfway through our goal, and we wouldn't be here without those people.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And if you can, like, if players who have it are able to breed it, the Aniton will eventually, people who weren't able to pledge the amount will be able to get the common form if they trade with someone who had, like me, for example. When I get it, I'm going to breed it a lot, and I'm going to distribute some of them in my Discord and stuff like that.
So the lore about this Aniton is like it's ancient one and it's extinct in the wild. Yeah. And you as a player will get this. And we have an idea for a future. We'll discuss it after Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That there will be an option to donate the offspring, and they will appear in the wild, but only in the amount that it will be like donated.
Oh, okay.
And each time the Aniton will appear somewhere in the server, they will be counted from those donated ones.
Oh, okay, cool.
But only the supporters, the backers that get this tier will decide if we will add this feature or not.
Yeah, makes sense.
Great.
Okay, cool. So if Anitons doesn't meet, we kind of touched on this already, but this next question says, if Anitons doesn't meet every stretch goal, is there a chance that we could see them implemented later on into the game via either paid DLC or just like as a later date when you guys get a publisher or something like that?
Yes, of course. Like as I said before, like the stretch goal means that we'll have it 100% on time in the game. But if we don't reach it, we want to create a DLCs, including those new regions and so on. And the arc is inspiration for how to handle this. Yeah. Because me as a game developer, when I see the statistics, how many players are playing Arc over the time, it's amazing that they don't lose players. Like the player number is, from 2 years, it's not falling down. It's staying on the same level. And we want to get this game and develop in the same way as they do.
Oh yeah, that's great to hear. Okay, so this is a question. Good question. How important is community feedback with regards to this project?
So it's very important for us because it's hard to create the game from scratch, especially in a genre that we explore new roads here, and we need somebody to navigate and help us to reach it. Like when it comes to people, like we have 5 people sitting in a room. And the ideas you can see, it's our rough ideas that are not checked before sometimes. And we got almost 1,000 people on a Discord that their feedback assure us that we are on the right path. And we already made a lot of changes. For example, we added the offensive and defensive types for starters, because of the feedback of the people. So we created new mechanic and new Anitons just because people told us that it would be fun to get more out of the starter that you choose at the beginning of a game.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely a really interesting concept. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. There was actually there was actually a rumor back when Sword and Shield, before they showed off was it Sword and Shield or Sun and Moon? I can't remember which game, but there was a rumor at one point that all the starter evolutions would be splits, right? So it's nice that someone's actually done that because it was a really cool rumor.
Yeah, so that wasn't our inspiration. Only the Discord people, decided that we will take this way. And also the things that we saw, and we make it like our more like the main feature of this game is the relations between the player and the Anitons.
Hmm.
And we know that people value this from a feedback, and we want to push it even further than we originally want to. Not you will not only have Anitons on your farm, but you will. We want to make a feature that you can teach them tricks, and there will be something like your dog, not like the animal at the farm.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's good because I know a lot of people they like that extra connection with their monsters.
Mhm.
It adds a sense of realism to the game.
And that's only because of the people from Discord.
Yeah. So this is always a hard question, but if Anitons for some reason isn't able to make its $75,000 goal, where do we sort of go from here?
So we are hoping at this moment that the game will reach it, but it won't be thoughtful for us to don't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
So the idea is that the concept of Anitons already proved the point at this moment. Like 1,000 people on Discord, the 400 people backing it on Kickstarter, and that's very important.
Yeah.
And we already have a publishers that reached us because they saw us on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So we currently, not evaluating if we want to work with them or not, because it's too early to say if Kickstarter will hit or not.
Yeah.
And if not, we will try to find a publisher that will help us develop this game.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be different, a little different, maybe not, but we want to. It would be, we wanted to try Kickstarter.
Yeah.
If we get the Kickstarter, the people will decide how this game will look.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If not, why not go with a publisher like thousands of games getting it, our previous production get the publisher, and we are happy with this the direction they are pushing it.
Yeah, and there's tons of Oh, sorry, continue.
No problem.
What I was just gonna say was there are tons of great publishers that work specifically with indie devs as well. So it's not like if you guys get a publisher, the game's gonna all of a sudden completely pull a 180. Like I know, like for example, Monster Crown has a publisher. Nexomon has a publisher, and their publishers are actually really good in that they give their devs a lot of freedom instead of like forcing them to do a certain thing. So even if whatever happens and it does go that route, at least we can still look forward to the game being your guys' vision.
Yes, of course, we will never sign a deal when we will not have a chance, to continue this community-driven development, since this is the only way that we can, ensure this game will be good.
Yeah.
Because we can create the game like in a basement and show them when it's ready to the people, but it won't ensure that people will love it. Like only the involvement in the process can make this happen.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm personally excited about this question. So, what are your plans with regards to the closed alpha? So, what exactly will we be able to do in the alpha when it comes out?
So, according to alpha and all the other milestones, the quality is our priority.
Yeah.
So that means that we'll never, scrap the quality if the quantity will benefit. For example, we will not add an Aniton if we can't create it right, like the skills, the abilities, and how it will look in the world. So I don't know if somebody ever told that this game sucks because there's are not 10 more monsters in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost it's this game is good, but it will be better.
Yeah.
And if there's a game when there will be 200 monsters, but walking sucks, people will say this is a bad game, and the end of the question, at the end of the sentence. And so in alpha we want to add at least 6 Aniton lines that you can play with. Like it's the minimum.
Yeah.
And the features with building and the words. So this will be like somewhat the super small scale of this game.
Okay.
To explore the ideas. We don't want to subscribe to ideas that player can decide in one moment that doesn't have a value for them.
Yeah.
You have to subscribe to the ideas that the player already like to explore.
Yeah.
And also, if the Kickstarter succeed, we'll have at this moment 200 people that will try this alpha version.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
It's
there will be
definitely
a
gonna
lot
be
of feedback.
exciting.
And I know that you want to know what's for beta.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in a short, it will be alpha, but brought to another level.
Hmm.
We want to add more Anitons, more interactions, and only explore the routes that we know that are working.
Yeah.
And the alpha will decide it. So the players who have an alpha access, they will decide which road we will take in terms of mechanics and decisions after the road. Beta will include more players, and we will check with the new players if the ideas that we explore are working.
Hmm.
And at the end, the players that will get this game in the release will see this journey at the almost like that will be a release, but it will be start of another journey.
Yeah.
To bring this game with DLCs into to explore more, even more, and with new features and new Anitons.
Hmm. So, in terms of the combat, so we did. I mean, I got to see it a long time ago because I did the voice for it, but everybody else finally got to see the new like the combat, the actual combat, like in engine. So if you like, if people have also like seen some of the other 3D monster taming games, like Mithrin is more like the Ninja Storm games. Kindred Fates is sort of like Dark Souls. Anitons is like a third-person shooter almost. What made you decide to go with that style of combat specifically?
So we decided before even we started this project, we decided how the combat will look like because it was a main design decision. And we made it because we get a lot of experience. We have a lot of experience in shooters. We was working together, like the whole Tubigo squad was working in a shooter before we started our own company. And we wanted this fights to be skillful.
Yeah.
So you need to aim, you need to predict when the enemy will move, and that's very important in terms of satisfaction and improvement to predict learn how the other Anitons are moving, and it gives satisfaction to hit that target when he made a dodge, but you know that he is going to do it. And that's the first person shooter gives you that option.
Yeah.
And we also explore the Dark Souls mechanics, like you said before. But in my opinion, it works well with a melee combat. When you're fighting hand to hand, you can predict those attacks and dodges. But it's all about the combat hand to hand.
Yeah.
And if you have a camera following you, it's hard to make the shooting skillful.
Yeah.
And if you will have, for example, a second mechanic that you need to aim with a gun, or like you saw an Explino, that you change the gameplay type to third-person shooter and to those Dark Souls fighting, it will be confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
And to keep it organized, keep it simple, so players can learn, and we will have a hand-to-hand combat in Anitons. We already making a Sharker, and it will be ready next week. So we can show off
cool.
how hand-to-hand combat will look like.
Okay.
And we are really happy with what we got from it, and I think that this will push the combat into the next level.
Yeah.
With the hand-to-hand combat option.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And also how to handle a situation with the, let's say, Dark Souls fighting when you're not facing an enemy, how to shoot at them. So basically you will have to every time face an enemy, shoot and run away, and that's just monotonous fight.
Yeah. And then like I'm personally, I know a lot about Dark Souls, so like the mage attacks, they're all like, I'm not a mage in Dark Souls, but for the most part they're all just lock-on attacks. So like not all of them, but most of them, they
Hmm.
follow the enemy, and then the ones that don't, they're really frustrating because the camera's at a weird angle and you got to shoot it a certain way. I know exactly what you guys mean. It
Hmm.
doesn't, they don't mesh together well.
Yes, and like the hand-to-hand combat goes well with it, but
Yeah.
you want to have a lot of the distance attacks in this game, and a lot of prediction attack, because I think that it's great to predict that somebody will move into the left, place a trap and who will get a hit,
Yeah.
and also we don't want to restrain player movements with casting spells or something like that, that you need to sit here for 3 seconds and cast the spell.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a fun game to play.
Yeah.
And
It's also
mhm,
nice that all the games, like all the 3D monster taming games I've seen, they all have different combat. It's not two of them don't have the same, so that's nice too. Like every game has a unique aspect on the combat system. So if you're playing one game and then you go to another one, you don't feel burned out because they're so different.
yeah, and also I think that this is like exciting way to bring this genre into the new level, explore multiple paths at one time, and we will see which idea will get most players subscribe to.
Yeah.
And also, I'm very curious how the Kindred Fates will deal with it, and I think that we'll see it in the alpha access,
Yeah, I'm
how
excited
it's
for that
working.
too.
Yeah, and like personally, I don't know how I would solve it.
Yeah.
So it's very, I will learn a lot from their solutions, and I think that some of them maybe will, elevate Anitons too.
Hmm.
If we saw their solution for this,
Yeah.
it's still those games will be different, but it doesn't, you know, both parties will benefit from this.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So okay, so we actually mentioned this too. So I guess I'll just ask a question, but we did already kind of go through it. Was we see that there's two evolutions for each of the starters. So you said it was the community that made you decide to do that. And and another question, since you kind of already answered that, is have you guys decided how exactly you're going to be able to go about evolving in either way?
So maybe I will, explain a little bit more about the decision. So we get those idea from communities that we should, explore more and create starters, some more, mm, more option for players
Yeah.
with starters. And when we was, reading that, we was working on a gameplay that you saw on a Kickstarter, and you also narrate the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we saw that movement speed and the directions that you can move, like the left, two-legged Anitons are moving faster into the left and right,
Mm.
and four-legged Anitons are moving faster in forward.
Oh, okay.
So this plays a big role in the fighting, in a third-person shooter, and it will decide which Aniton you will choose and which playstyle will be best for you. If
Hmm.
you like to charge and run fast, to the enemy, you will choose the fast Anitons that are moving forward fast. And if you want to, avoid attacks, you will get the agile one that will move strafe
Hmm.
fast to not only run forward.
Okay. So basically, the player kind of gets the choice when they go to evolve the middle form. It'll be like, do you want to do this one or that one? Because I know you use DNA to level up instead of like just evolving in the middle of battle. So you'll kind of have that option, like go offensive or go defensive.
We want to keep the player to keep the starter Aniton for for a long time,
Yeah,
and to make that to make player want to keep it, we need to give him option, because
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
if he wants to strafe fast, but he get the evolution
Yeah,
that moving super slow, he will not enjoy it and he
exactly.
will
Yeah,
throw it away. So also the starters will be like full stats or something like that. So
yeah.
it won't be beneficial to change it for other of the same type, I think.
Okay.
And we'll see how to explore this idea and how the players will react to that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, so now we got quite a few. We got some really good ones too. We got a bunch of community questions from you guys over in the Discord, and if you're watching this and you're not in the Discord, both the Anitons Discord and my Discord, what are you doing? But anyway, anyway, the first community question I have, and this is always an exciting one to hear, is from Marlon, and it asks. Are you open to the idea of having crossovers with other monster taming games?
So that's a good question, and of course we are open to crossovers, but we want to make this game only about the crossovers. Like you can make crossover like the reference the other game,
Yeah,
but we don't want to add a lot of other monsters from other games
yeah,
into our game, because this needs to be a game on their own.
yeah, yeah,
And we are open to for a crossover and collaboration with other teams.
yeah,
And also I think that with is this this genre expands really fast,
yeah,
and convention of some sort or event that we could attain when this whole thing blows over.
yeah.
uh, it would be nice to have an event dedicated to the monster collecting games.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Also, we need to get the general name straight, and there's a lot of ideas. Like each
Oh yeah,
time I see somebody talking about it, there's a different idea, and maybe this convention will get this thing straight. We'll vote or something.
yeah, yeah. No, for
Like,
sure.
vote.
So, okay. So this is asked by Cirque. What's the aspect of Anatons that you are most proud of?
So this is a good question, and I had a hard time, picking this up. But I think that it's farming. Like when I was young, playing Pokemon Red on my Game Boy, I was wondering how cool it would be if those box Pokemons, will live in your house or will be doing something, not only sit in the computer.
Yeah,
And after 16 years, I have an occasion to answer that question and to explore this idea like fully with full potential.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I'm the most proud of. And also, like if you ask this question, each of developer of Anitons, they will have other answer. I think everybody here contributes to this game and the idea as a whole.
Hmm.
So it's pretty personal project. I can call it this way.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody in the team, they are contributing and they are discovering new paths. So that's what makes it so exciting working on this project.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so we touched on this, but Marlon asks, would you consider having paid expansions or DLC when the game's successful?
So Marlon is, good with the questions,
Oh
and
yeah,
he knows what to ask about because we already talked about it. And yes, we want to get inspired not only by Ark in terms of gameplay, but also in terms of carrying the game after release. And we want to get DLCs that will, get you new mechanics, new Anitons, new ideas that we had or will, get during the development, but we didn't have a time to, add it to the game.
yeah,
And I think that we will see if people will like that.
oh yeah,
But I personally would love this approach
oh yeah,
to get the base of the basic game, and then the experiments that comes along. And there are somebody will like it, somebody won't like it, but they will have an option if they want to go this way or they want to. I would just play the basic games. It's
yeah.
enough for me.
Well, it's kind of like you think with Pokemon, right? You buy the first game, and then that has the first region. Then if you want to get the new region with the new Pokemon, you have to buy a new game. And we could see with Anitons, for example, the games, after the game's done and released, maybe in the future, there's a new small region that has more Anitons on it. So instead of buying a whole new game, you just get more extra content within the same game.
Yeah, and also I don't like the idea, if we'll get Anitons too.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea to get the same game, reskin it and sell it in a different box because
Yeah.
it's not a good practice, and it shouldn't be done this way.
Yeah.
And like one feature more is not enough to make a new game. So we want to make a DLCs, explore this idea,
Yeah.
and if works well, we'll explore different paths. Like you don't see Arc 2,
Yeah,
and
exactly,
it,
exactly.
it's so much years after release, they still doing it and exploring the ideas,
Yep.
and I love how they do it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, it's I personally think it's better that way. Like I'd rather pay for an expansion on the game, especially with an online kind of game too, like a game
Hmm.
like Ark or like Anitons, like one of those games with servers and all that stuff. Like I'd rather have like sandbox games. That was the word I was looking for. Especially with those
Hmm.
type of games, like for example, they wouldn't make a like if they decided to do a big update for like Minecraft or something, they wouldn't make a Minecraft 2. They would just add to the
Yes.
game, right?
And
Uh
that's the approach that we wanna take on
yeah.
developing this.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Thank you.
Marlon's here with another question. What happens if all of your Anitons faint or die? Do you just get like a game over, or what kind of happens when they all get knocked out?
So that's another good question from Marlon. And if all of your Anitons faint, you will be somehow teleported into your base, but they won't die. You don't lose them, but you will have to cure them in a clinic
Oh, okay,
or the other way, and you will be responsible for that. So you will have to get the resources to get them back to health, and it will take time. So you will have to choose other Anitons
yeah,
for your party for that time. So you can just heal it instantly, but you will have to losing an Aniton in a fight won't be so much costful that you will lose it forever, but you will lose it for some time. So you will
okay,
have to let's say pay for that it faint.
okay, cool. Cirque asks, what was the biggest difficulty or biggest obstacle you faced on your journey so far?
So like the problem that we get on this journey and we still have is how big this project should be.
Hmm.
And it all comes to funding, since this is the amount of money we can get for this game is equal to the time that we'll spend on making it, like the time that we can invest in developing this game.
Yeah.
And we want to deliver the quality game, and I think that that's what sets the boundaries of it. We want try to add a feature that we can't polish enough to get the quality that the players will enjoy. And if we get to the point that we got a good quality on this what we wanted to create, we'll add new things.
Hmm.
And when you see our Kickstarter, there are milestones, and each milestone is like 100% that we can create this with a quality that the player will enjoy. Not
Yeah.
only add this feature and it will lay somewhere that you can find NPC that tags something, but this will be incorporated into the game, and it will have a good quality that the player will enjoy using this feature.
Hmm. Okay. So the next question is by Rockma1998, and they ask, how many dragons, as dragons are very important.
So we don't have a dragon type to begin with, but we like the dragon inspired monsters. There will be at least 3 Aniton lines that ends up with this. We
Nice.
recently yesterday released one of them.
Yes.
It's and the people love them. So that's a good indicator of that the people like the dragon type Anitons. But we don't want to make this game only about dragons, because this idea is used a lot in other games, and
Yeah.
we want to explore other ideas, not only to focus on the dragon one.
Yeah, I just had to add that question because it made me laugh a little bit. I like dragons too, so.
Also, I have a question to Rockma. How you define the dragon? So let's answer in the comments. What's the definition of a dragon here?
That's true because you have like for example, a lot of people don't know this. Charizard, It's actually not technically a dragon. Like it's not even the type, but like the monster, it's a flying
Hmm.
lizard. Its name in Japanese is Lizardon, which just means just means lizard basically, like lizard king or something. So technically, yeah, it's funny because Charizard's a flying lizard, which you'd think would be a dragon. So yeah, you're right. Is a wyvern a dragon? What exactly is a dragon?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Bloba asks, what exactly are your plans for PvP? And I guess like in terms of like, will there be like matchmaking modes and stuff like that?
So at first, we want to get this PvP to be casual. There will be no base riding that somebody can ride your base, destroy your what you build there, steal your items or anything like that. So you will invite people to visit your base,
Yeah.
and they will only can get your friends and people you invite to your base, and they won't have an option to destroy something. So your base is safe. You don't I love the games when you are not online, your character is sleeping somewhere, and in the middle of the night somebody rush your base and destroys everything. Wow. And also we want to keep it casual, since we want to make a duels that one player versus one player.
Yeah.
But if we get the time to experiment a little bit more, we want to add battles, something like a battleground, or I don't know how we call them, but it will be a team versus team,
Yeah.
and the environment that you play will have a big impact on it. So
Oh,
it will
okay.
be something like a arena that the players will fight on, and it will be changing. So you will have an option to use the environment to your
Oh,
benefit.
okay. Cool. I was just when you were talking about raiding people and just destroy. I was just thinking about what I would do if I was a high level player, and you could just destroy bases. I just make
Yeah,
a
that
video of me destroying everybody's base.
yeah, I love the channel. I don't know if it was called Ramsey, I think, and he was playing Rust, and he was raiding and making the whole clans annoyed. Raiding in the middle of the night. They was waking up, logging in, and he was just joking with them. That was great.
So Clasher's got a few good questions, and it's funny because Clasher usually asks questions that I'll never answer because they're usually jokes. But I think Clasher's a big fan of Ark, so he decided to contribute some real questions
Oh,
here.
so hi, Clasher.
He the first one, and I think I already know the answer to this, but he asked, where did you come up with the name Anitons?
Okay, so the name will work. Like it took a lot of work to get this name, and it's coming from tons of animals. As you can, I think that you know it
Yeah, yeah.
already. And what surprises me, it's everybody spelling this name right at the first time.
Yeah,
So that's great. And I think that the name of a game is very important.
yeah,
Like that can define the success of a game. I don't
yeah,
know how players unknown battlegrounds get it's PUBG on their side,
yeah,
so they changed the name, but name is very important. And the previous game we called Lumber Hill, and that name it's great. It's like the village of the lumberjacks,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I love the Anitons and the previous game name, and we want to see how it will turns out. And also the most important aspect of the name was to say it in a plural form.
Yeah,
Anitons, like the bunch of Anitons,
yeah.
not only the one, because
Makes
you will
sense.
have a lot of them. Yeah.
He also asks, how in depth will the building mechanic be?
Hmm. So I define this as a deep, because you will have to build the fundaments, then you place walls, something like the features that you can see in Arc, but it will be how to say it, like more casual.
Hmm.
You don't have to create a wall and then you put the wall. You will just place the walls and pay in resources, but it will be the instant process.
Yeah,
and you will place windows, doors, and the others, holes in a wall, similar to the Sims. When
Yeah.
you choose a window and you choose a wall,
Yeah.
so you don't have to define that here will be a window. You can place it or delete it when you like it, and there will be also furnitures that you can place in the base.
Hmm.
But every furniture won't be just decorative, but it will have a function,
Okay.
or gives you something, some bonus or some functionality. And there will be a lot of stuff for Anitons, like the toys for them, the feeders, and other things that makes them happy, and it will increase their stats and speed up a healing process
Hmm.
or get you more DNA. So the building won't be only about building a base,
Yeah.
but it will be also about exploring this, taking care of your monsters.
Okay. Cool. Another another one by Clasher is are there gonna be any ways to customize the specific stats on your monsters?
Yeah, but it won't look like in a RPGs that you can plus
Yeah.
strength, and it's super strength now. But you can create Anitons based on DNA, and that's our solution to solve the problem with getting too much of them, because you will fight a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we need to find a way that you won't with one fight end up with 20 new Anitons.
Yeah.
And with spending the DNA to create, can have a cheap version. It have a stats from 1 to 100,
Yeah.
or pay more DNA. It create a one that get 80 to 100.
Oh,
So
okay.
we can invest and create better Anitons. So you can always come back, invest, and create like the best Aniton you can have.
Okay.
And also there will be a pure DNA that you will obtain from a fight with a pure forms, and
Yeah.
it won't be just a shiny like the visual stuff, but it will be a big tough boss that you need to fight. And with a pure DNA, you can either create the pure Aniton that will have the best stats possible,
Yeah.
like it will be great at everything, or you can use this pure DNA to upgrade the ones you own. So you can
Okay.
upgrade skills, and the pure DNA will be a currency that it's hard to get, and you need to spend it with a focus on what you want to get from your Anitons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. I think that's a good idea.
Thanks.
Okay. Here we go. So is there a way to quote unquote beat the game, or will it be more of a sandbox? Clasher also asked that.
So there will be a story that you can finish, and it will gives you a closure on the story,
Yeah.
but it won't block you from playing this game, or like in the future. So it won't change much of a gameplay, and you will still be playing Anitons, collecting new ones and exploring. So yes, there will be an option to beat the game, but it won't finish at this moment.
Makes sense. Will there be a lot of lore in the game?
So if you define lore as the history of a word
Yeah.
that's written into it, yes, there will be a lot of it, and we'll try to incorporate it into the mechanics of
Yeah.
the game,
Okay.
the NPC you meet, and stuff like that. But in terms of story, as the story that you can play through, it takes a lot of time to create this story, to
Yeah.
make it interesting, and I don't know how much of a story there will be. There will be like a main storyline, and it will be an interesting, but I don't know how many hours you will spend on it.
Yeah.
It will be a good quality time, but I don't know if if you compare it to the RPGs like a Witcher. It won't be that much of a story. And
uh,
also, Witcher is from Poland too, so
there you
it's
go.
like good comparison, right?
Are you planning on? And this is asked by Zrotu. Are you planning on doing some sort of newsletter every like month or every 2 weeks or something like through development, sort of like what Mithrin and Kindred Fates do?
So this is a good question because it comes from Zrotu, our moderator, and the Discord looks and lives because of him. So I want to say a big thank you to Zrotu here.
Oh yeah.
And it's a great idea. I know that the newsletter works, and also newsletters let us communicate one-on-one with the people. You
It
know,
also gives me content, so it makes me
yeah.
happy.
So the content and the news there will be, but I don't know at this moment if there will be a newsletters or something other way.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely explore this path and see if it works and how people will respond to it, because we don't want to, leave some people that don't like newsletters, alone without an option to, state their ideas and their opinion about the game.
Hmm.
So we definitely will try it, but I don't know if we'll do it similar to Kindred Fates, because I know they're doing it the good way. There's a lot of information there,
Yeah.
and I will try to take a similar approach, but we'll see if it will, the players will like it this way.
Yeah, that's right, guys. So if they do try it and I make a video on it, you gotta like it a lot, and then they'll know.
Thanks.
Oh, this is asked by Barry, and this is actually a really good question. What would you say the recommended specs? I mean, obviously you won't know the exact specs right now, but I guess a sort of ballpark range in terms of like the specs for PC. And he says because a game like Ark, it's really really intense on the GPU. So how intense do you think Anitons will be on your computer?
So I think that it will be less intense than Ark, but also Ark have a lot of foliage, and if you see a footage, we was watching the footage about showcasing the DLC arena,
Yeah.
and it was beautiful to see all this foliage and those dinosaurs walking by,
Yeah.
and see them from a great distance. So that's why they have so big recommended specs.
Yeah.
And the Anitons have a simpler graphics,
Yeah.
like we have an experience with games, and the one Aniton have a poly count of sometimes a gloves, only gloves of other characters. So it won't require such a computer to play. Like the minimum specs won't be high, but we won't I don't think that we'll run into a problem with specifics on PC. Like when you go to Switch, that there will be a huge problems, and we are prepared for that. But we don't see problems with the Anitons on PC. It won't be super high.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Okay, so this is another really good question. This is from Zane, the developer of Mithrin, actually. What's a question what's a question you haven't been asked yet in a Q&A and or any other format that you wish someone would ask?
So I think that's how the regions will work, and how the regions, from the Kickstarter stretch goals will work. So we was, exploring that the open world idea and how to do it, and what approach to take. And we want the players to travel freely inside the region, but we have a very unclear how the players will get from one region, and if they can go like in WoW. I don't know if you played this game.
Oh, World of Warcraft?
Yes.
A little bit.
So there's a way to go from region to region like freely, but there's like two paths that's leaving the region.
Oh, okay.
And that's gives you a limitation on how to design an environment for that, because there must be mountains or sea on every edge of the map. Like there's everywhere there's mountains, mountains everywhere, and we want to get more freedom here, and we don't have a clear idea how we will approach this. And if we will have more discussion somewhere on the Discord, I think that we'll know what to prioritize in terms of this mechanic. And Nobody asked this question yet, but I think that when we finish a Kickstarter, we'll get a great discussion about this. And I'm just curious how players will approach this idea.
Yeah. It's interesting because you might have like a really mountainous region next to a forest region. You kind of have to decide like where the forest ends and the mountains begin and stuff like that.
Yes, and we want not to keep a player that to press escape, go to options, and then change region, and then choose forest, and there's a loading time. We don't want to do that. We want to make it as much intuitive as we can.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm reading this question word for word because
Okay.
I'm just gonna read it word for word. These aren't my words. I'm just gonna say that. Will the best and sexy boy Ed appear in the game? That was asked by Marlon.
So Marlon, next, good question here. And yes, of course, because I don't know if you guys know, the Ed helped us so much. He discovered Anitons like at the beginning.
Yeah.
He helped develop it, have a lot of ideas. I spoke with Ed a couple of times, like before, and also he created, a narration for our gameplay video, and get a lot of ideas how this video wouldn't be in this way if there will be no Ed, because he get an idea to invert this video. It's originally started in a house and you go to fight, and
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We inverted it because you suggested it, and that was a great idea. And I think that this is like a big part of the success, that we start with a fight, and people get excited super fast when they are
exactly.
And that's the feedback and the stuff that we get from people that make this game a better project and a better game itself. But sometimes even you say that even you forget about it.
Yeah.
So back to my question, like yes, of course the Ed will be in the game.
Snap.
We don't know how we will incorporate him, but we have a question, how to say it? We have an ideas, but I won't spoil it here or now. You will see in the game. Yeah.
We gotta look forward to that. Okay,
I know you will like it. So.
All right, guys. So this is a question that I asked to every dev when they come on my podcast. So from your own game, what's your favorite monster or Aniton?
Okay, so my favorite Aniton is Reinik, like the fire starter, and I think it's because it's somewhere look like my dog.
Oh yeah.
It's called Timon, and he's a corgi, but he won't be in the game, sadly. Maybe in the future. And also I always loved like the fire and the fire Anitons and the fire itself. Like there's a great mechanics now previous game where there's thunders and the map can catch fire and people can catch fire and animals catch fire. Everything's in fire.
Oh, okay.
And fire is chaotic. It's powerful and it can be easily put down. So that's a great mechanics in the game, and I love the concept of a fire Anitons and how you will incorporate in the game. And we have a couple of great ideas how you can use fire in the game.
Yeah.
And the Reinik is like I think the best design for me. I love this dog-like Aniton. And what's your favorite Aniton, Ed?
Okay, so I'm bad at choosing, but my favorite Aniton so far, from the ones that we've seen in Engine, is Explino, and then Reinik. So I like that line. Like I like that line a lot. But I'm also really liking the Ice Dragon that was submitted from the fan contest. Oh, and the Kickstarter Aniton's looking really nice too.
Oh, thank you. Like you can see here that the community can design, like the Aniton from Kickstarter was designed by a Chronic. So,
yes. Chronic, shout out to you, man.
Yeah, he's a part of our community too. So you can count this as a community design Aniton. And also the Ice Dragon that you mentioned is picked from a Halloween contest design. and the works were so great that we have to choose, two Anitons from there and scrap some of our own design to put there in the game. But there was like those designs were better. That's the truth. So we want to upgrade the game like this. We also have a lot of slots, empty slots in Anitons that we want to add into the game. We got what this Aniton should do,
Yeah.
what the type it should be, but we don't have like a concept bar for it.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for some ideas to come our head. We want to make a space when we can experiment or get an ideas from a community. And if you like to create your own Aniton or shape this game, check out our Discord, and there will be definitely a lot of contest and the stuff that you can name it, draw a pure form, draw how it should look in the game, and how even all the Aniton lines
Yeah.
to create for our players.
Yeah, no, I remember we had that contest for recoloring the and even the name we had the name contest too. For Zapter. Yeah, and then we also had the color contest.
Yeah, that was your name, or one of those names are.
So what happened was I went on Twitter and I put like 6 different names in, like everything that came to my mind. I came up with the name Zapter by myself, but someone came up with it first. So
okay.
I didn't copy their name. I came up with it on my own, but I wasn't quick enough.
Yeah, no problem. Like sometimes, like somebody mentioned the name that this Aniton could have, and Hockey don't speak anything, but he edit our Excel doc and he's just putting this name there. So a lot of people will have like a surprise when this Aniton will be revealed and with their name.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm pretty sure like 3 different people came up with that same name. It's a good name.
Yeah, and also we are only 5 people trying to figure out the name, and there are 1,000 people in Discord. Have a lot of other ideas, and I can say that our idea will be always better than theirs. So we are up to changing, because when 1,000 people from Discord will decide the name, probably like the couple of thousand people who saw it in the game, or even more. So here's how the idea and how this game gets better with every post on Discord, with every person who tries to to contribute into this game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in constant change, and it's hard to set the boundaries at this point, because it will stop the creative process of developing this game. And we have resources to do this way. We have an option, because nobody can say that we can't do this way. So we are making it the way that we want to. And also I think that it's the best way to explore new features, and to extend this genre, just to listen to the people and what they want to see in a game.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to. I just wanted to make sure I had all the names right. So I did want to give a shout out to Xena for the ice. I called it an ice dragon, but it's more of a wyvern. So that goes back to your "what's a dragon" question.
Yeah, exactly.
And we also got the cat line from the fire cat line from Cursed Eye. So we got some really cool fan Aniton designs.
Yeah, also with this fire fox, I think there was like my first idea was how he will shoot fire, and when you enter the document that was linked, there's a animation drawn how it will work, and that's great that somebody put so much thought and work into it. To make it all, it's cool size that designed this, and there that will you will have a lot of time put and heart into these designs, and it just proves that they are good and thoughtful.
Yeah, both of them have Google Documents for their designs, and it's nice. It's nice when they do stuff like this. I believe I've seen both of them. I know I've seen Xena in the Kindred Fates Discord as well, up making some kin fakes too. I believe I've seen Cursed Eye, but I could be wrong. I could be thinking about another user, but I'm pretty sure I've seen Cursed Eye in the Kindred Fates Discord as well. Yeah, they're great friggin' designers, man.
It's we are happy that people try to explore and invent new things into our game, because this just push the idea forward.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, on that note, I am going to probably wrap things up. Is there anything else you wanted to get in before I sort of wrapped everything up?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that contributed to our Kickstarter by now, and everybody that will, maybe in the future decide to contribute it, because this is the way that we can create this game on our own, just with you supporting this game. And it's not like we can create this game in the other directions, but this is the direction that we designed, and we want to get people involved in the process. And if you put money on Kickstarter, it's not our game, but it's your game that we are developing for you. And I want to say thank you one more time, and stay safe out there in this whole situation. We'll play Anitons or see on some convention with a monster collecting game.
Yeah, for
soon.
sure. All right, well, with all that being said, guys, definitely check out the Anitons Kickstarter page and consider backing. I always say this, but there are plushies on the line. Okay? You can get a plushie of an Aniton. You got to check out those plushies, man. They're pretty nice looking. It's about halfway there, so we're getting there. And with all that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.